Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from the upcoming production of A Grand Night for Singing with the Iowa City Community Theatre at Englert. But familiar faces to the Culture Crawl, Wes Habley, hello.
Hi, good to be here.
And Josh Sazon, welcome.
Hello.
Nice to have you both here.
Thanks.
You two have created a bit of a cottage industry of these shows that spotlight some of the great American songbook, and and we'll dig into this a little bit later. But if in case A Grand Night for Singing did not tell you what exactly is going on, this is the music of Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Absolutely.
So, Josh, how did the idea for this come about, or was it just their turn?
It was just their turn. No, not quite. I mean, we actually do. Wes and I have done, as you know, a series of concerts at the CCPA where we spotlight individual composers who has done the Great American Songbook. And this one is specifically for ICCT, and it is actually, unlike our other concerts in the series, actually has been established fairly early on. This was a review that was originally conceived back in 1993. And unlike the concerts that we've done at CCPA, this one is wall-to-wall music. So no real commentary, but it provides such a wonderful panorama of Rodgers and Hammerstein's works. A lot of them are fairly well known, and a lot of them are not as well. And that's one of the pleasant challenges of doing this particular production.
So this is a show. This is a show that has already existed. You didn't. You. This is not one that you curated.
That's correct.
Okay, but it also sounds like it's pretty complete.
It's fairly comprehensive. I mean, it starts from Oklahoma and it works its way through The Sound of Music. That's about 20 years worth of material. And in addition to the old war horses, there are a lot of other material that Rodgers and Hammerstein have done, which are not that well known. And I hope that the public enjoys it. We've certainly enjoyed working on it.
Yeah.
Wes, you remarked that we'll have selections in this from all of the Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals.
Yes.
And it took me aback a little bit when you said 8. I was like, really? Just 8? If you would have asked me, I would have said 18.
Oh, just 8. Five with significant audience knowledge. That would be Oklahoma, Carousel, King and I, Sound of Music, and South Pacific. And then the other 3, which are Pipe Dream, Allegro, and Me and Juliet.
Me and Juliet.
Me and Juliet
Oh,
are the
okay.
3 lesser-known ones from which songs have been taken.
So as the music director, as you're taking a look at this, now, fortunately, you weren't tasked with having to pick all these songs.
No.
But as you've been digging into the scores on these, give me the music director's assessment of the music of Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Well, there are a couple things to note about this particular score, and number one is several of the songs have their traditional treatment, as you would have seen them in the show, but many of the songs have atypical treatment. For instance,
How so?
For instance, the song Maria, which is sung by a nun about Maria von Trapp, is actually sung by a man about a woman. So there are several things that happen that way. Interestingly enough, there are several of the really warhorse Rodgers and Hammerstein songs that are not in the show per se, but they've been woven into the fabric of the background music, of the entr'acte, and such. So you can, if you listen closely, you hear some things that are not in the show, but are Rodgers and Hammerstein themes.
Oh, okay. So little musical signatures
Absolutely.
if you're listening closely.
Absolutely.
Josh, from your point of view, now I know for the shows that you've curated, you've provided, you come on stage and and do a little narration. You don't have to do that for this one. So what's been your big task putting this together?
Well, in terms of staging, that's always a big task. Unlike the other concerts that we've had, we have a cast of 18 for this particular show. Some
Because your others have been like
about
three, maybe
yes.
4, yeah.
Right. So this has been much larger, and a lot of the numbers are actually group numbers, and so you'd like to stage them in as visually appealing a way as possible. And as Wes had said, a lot of these numbers are also atypical from the way that they're usually presented. One of my personal favorite numbers is the song Honey Bun from South Pacific. And that is usually sung by Mary Martin. The guy that we have singing this, wonderful voice, lovely performer, he is encouraged to channel his inner Mary Martin for this particular show.
Okay.
And it's certainly worth the price of admission, and I think he does it wonderfully.
Oh, yes.
Even if he doesn't wear a grass skirt and coconut bras.
Well, just ponder. We'll just ponder that mental image. Although anybody who's seen South Pacific has seen that many times. So mentioned without getting too far into spoiler territory. Now we talked about some of the really well-known Rodgers and Hammerstein songs, but this also has a lot of lesser known. So talk to me about some things that maybe came as a surprise to you, or that that you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a real highlight of the show, even though this may be a song not as many people are familiar with.
Oh, some gorgeous ballads, I think, in there. The show starts with a lovely little opening medley, and there is a ballad there called "So Far," which I think is either from Allegro or Me and Juliet. I don't quite remember, but it is absolutely gorgeous. There are Love Look Away from Flower Drum Song, and it's wonderfully performed by a tenor voice. And what other songs are there?
The Man I Used to Know. Oh, used to be, excuse me, The Man I Used to Be, which is kind of a light tune that's literally in the show, in the original show. It is The Man I Used to Be. In our show, it's The Man You Used to Be, and it's sung by women. And so, but most of all of the lyrics are the same, except instead of me, it's you.
Right.
The man you used to be.
Now,
probably our
Josh.
favorite, Wes and I both chuckled delightedly when we ran into it. It's a song called "It's Me." We showcase it for one of our talented performers, and it's a wonderfully droll, humorous song that really, how shall I put it, characterizes a more self-centered performer, and we are just so happy with the way that it came out.
Okay, all right. A mental picture is starting to come to my mind. It sounds like fun. One other thing is, as time has gone on, people grow up. And those of us in this room, and most of the people listening, I would imagine on the radio at least, are going, "Oh, Rodgers and Hammerstein." They're can name a dozen right off the top of their head. But you have several younger members in the cast.
Yes.
Is some of this music new to them?
Yes.
Brand new.
Okay.
Brand new.
Incredibly new.
Literally, we have two folks that are currently in high school. So we were on the range from high school all the way through probably someone in their 60s. Yeah. And so there's a variety of knowledge of the Rodgers and Hammerstein songbook among those folks. And some are really surprised to hear the songs that they've heard before, but they never associated them with
didn't know where
the
they came
musical
from.
or
Right,
Rodgers
sure.
and Hammerstein show. So
In fairness, I have to say that when we were doing auditions for this show, Some Enchanted Evening was actually the most popular song that was used for auditions. That having been said, we've also had a couple of people who just basically looked at us blankly when we asked them to sing it. So it runs the gamut.
August 9 through 11, yes?
Yes.
At the Englert Theatre as a part of the Iowa City Community Theater. I notice this is the kickoff event to their new season.
It is. It is. This is also their first time to be doing their season outside of their usual location, which is Johnson County Fairgrounds.
Right, right. So is that, do you know, is that, I know they were having to move out of there. Are they out of there?
They have moved out of there.
Okay. All
And
right.
they're currently looking for funds to build their new space in
Right.
the south side of Iowa City.
Right.
But until then, they will be floating around.
An itinerant company.
Indeed.
Actually, other than the one at the Englert, most of their shows for this year have been scheduled at the James.
Oh, sure.
So I think that one of the shows is still looking for a venue, but
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, they've been scheduled for this year anyway.
Well, a great way to support the Iowa City Community Theater as they are getting, in a little bit of a time of transition, too.
Certainly,
So.
yes.
Well, it's a grand night for singing, August 9th through 11th at the Englert Theater. Ticketing through the Englert or through the Community
Through
Theater?
Englert.
Through the Englert.
Englert,
So engler.org for ticket information, and I'm sure there's information and a link from the Iowa City Community Theater website
yes.
as well.
Right. Yes.
And we do have Sunday matinee just for perhaps the older.
Oh, okay.
The people who know all the songs.
Right.
People who know
People
all
who
the
know all the songs. That's our code word for. and so that 9 through 11 that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday,
yeah?
Saturday,
Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday matinee.
Right.
Again, engler.org for tickets, iowacity.communitytheater.org if you would like more information about the theater in general or this show in particular. Well, gentlemen, it just sounds like a blast. Good luck putting this together. A lot more moving pieces
Yes.
than your other shows in this vein, but it sounds like it's really coming together and it's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll be fun.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here.
All right.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:30 or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture or using your favorite podcast app. You can watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook or YouTube channels too. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.